So I've been asked to write down the value of 64 to the power of a half. So 64 to the power of a half. Well, look what happens if I multiply by another 64 to the power of a half. So just kind of a quick thought exercise to remind ourselves. Let's suppose we have 3 to the power of 2, and we multiply that by 3 to the power of 3. Well, then all we do, because we've got the same base going on, is we just add the powers together. So it just becomes 3 to the power of 2 plus 3, which is just 3 to the power of 5. Right? So same thing going on here. I've got the same base, and I'm just multiplying. So therefore, I just have 64 to the power of a half, add a half. What is a half plus a half? It's 1, isn't it? So 64 to the power of 1. What's 64 to the power of 1? Well, 64 to the power of 1, I'm not multiplying by another 64. I've just got 64. So it's just 64, right? But look how I can rewrite this left-hand side. I've got 64 to the power of a half, multiplied by 64 to the power of a half. I've just got the same thing multiplied by itself. So I can just say that it's 64 to the power of a half squared, right? 64 to the power of a half squared, right. Now, if I have a look at this then, I don't want 64 to the power of a half squared, I just want 64 to the power of a half. So how do I get rid of this to the power of a half? Well then, how do I get rid of a square? Well, I just square root. So if I square root, okay, I end up with that. So 64 to the power of a half is just equal to the square root of 64. Cool. Do I know what the square root of 64 is? Yes, I do. It's 8. But is it just 8? Well, I could also have the negative root as well. So it's plus or minus 8. You sure you're happy with that? Because 8 squared is equal to 64. 8 squared is equal to 64. Okay? But what about negative 8 squared? Well, negative 8 squared is just negative 8 times negative 8. So that's just the negative cancel. So it just becomes 64. So the square root of 64 is positive 8, but it's also negative 8 as well.